Welcome, Novians, friends, gamers, and viewers. My name is Sky, aka Trylon, and I'm here with my right-hand man, RJ, and we're going to go into another discussion for our series called Trylon Chatter. And today's topic, what we're going to talk about is automatic mining, automated mining, okay? So RJ, where did you see automated mining at? Where did you see that at?
So yeah, that's on the login page. When you're waiting to log in, that's one of the upcoming features is automated mining or automatic mining. I can't exactly remember what it is, but basically the same thing, right?
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'll start, and then you can caveat and have your turn. So I'm gonna go with first I want to kind of elaborate on how I think it would work. Right. Basically in my head there's three options that it would work. Right. One, you put said item down that automatically mines, and you link it to a container or something and it siphons it. Option two, you put said container down or automated mining thing down, and it will automatically take that ore and store it in there until it reaches capacity. Then you have to move it around or do whatever you got to do. Or option three, it's a little bit of both, where maybe you can siphon off a certain amount, or it has a certain amount that it can hold, and then it automatically dumps it somewhere. I can't think of any other way. And RJ, can you think of any other way that it might operate? No. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
That's
Yeah. So I feel like those are basically the options. I'd imagine it would be a static construct, or at least similar to the scanner, where you have to not move
not
for
move
it.
it.
Yeah, for it to properly work. And then now I'm gonna go into. I'm just gonna start with do I want it or do I not want it? And I'm kind of on the fence about it, but if I'm being
Yep.
honest, at the moment right now, I feel like I do not want automated mining, and I'll elaborate why after RJ. I want RJ to say why, whether he wants it or not, and then I want him to elaborate on why. So RJ, go ahead and take it over. Do you want automated mining? Yes or no? And then elaborate on why.
Yep. So I'm in the same position as you, kind of on the fence, and I'm actually kind of leaning more towards wanting it as of late. Depending on how it works. It really depends on how it works. Um, So what I've heard maybe is that it might just mine out the nearest ore to the the actual core that you have it on. So if that's the case and it's slow moving, I would be okay with it there because I don't think it would be abused at that point. But if it really depends on how they implement it into the game, and that's why I'm on the fence. But I am at this point leaning a little bit more towards having it, just because it will alleviate some of the mining that I do.
Okay. So yeah. So all right. So you see the benefit as all right. I don't have to work as hard. I don't have to mine as much, and it's automated. So in my
Yeah.
mind, I have the same principle that you have in reference to it takes time to mine. But to me, like that's one of the core elements of the game. That's one of those few things that actually does take time. It's a little bit grindy. So if you remove that, what's left that's kind of grindy, right? Like if you have ores making, you automatic ore, and you've got your industry set up, you're making those cells, those warp cells. You traveling around everywhere. Like at that point, what really takes time in the game? And I feel like there's very little at that point that would take time. And right now, the only thing that really takes some of that time is mining, like finding that ore and digging it out. Another thing that I want to think about before I forget is I would imagine that maybe they'll limit the tier types that you can get, or at least make it more difficult to craft that element that automatically mines. So like for tier one ores, it's relatively cheap, and then tier two, it's a little bit harder, and then three is really difficult. Four is like extremely hard and takes a long time, and then five is nearly impossible, kind of a thing.
So you're saying like a different mining element for each tier of ore that you
Right.
need.
Right.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. And then of course there might be other caveats to that. Like I think eventually they're going to introduce power. So maybe as you increase those tiers, it's going to require more power or something along those lines. But that's another conversation altogether with the power
Yep.
aspect. But yeah, in general, I would say that I'm not really a fan because I think that grindy aspect that takes time and yields those results for the hard workers, if you will, of the game, will kind of be taken away. And then to another layer of that, which we've discussed about on our previous Trylon Chatter, when it comes to the industry change that they made, I feel like it's going to make it more difficult for the little guys again. So, so the way I see it, right? If you have a large org, you have a lot of people. They're working really hard. They're all doing this stuff, right? And they get the automatic mining. So now they can do other stuff or do it manually while it's automatically mining. So they're just going to have a surplus of ore, and they're going to do whatever they want, build whatever they want. Whereas like the lonely guys or, the smaller orgs, they're going to have to work harder to get that automatic mining up. So like it's exponential. It's kind of like, the rich get richer and the poor, eventually they'll get richer, but it takes a lot more work to get up there, you know what I'm saying, in the game. So that's my other concern with it too, is the disparity of organized and high-numbered organizations will compared to the small or solo guys will be rough. What's your thoughts on that? Do you agree? Do you disagree? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I agree with it. But again, if depending on how they implement it in, if it's a very slow thing that extracts the ore, if it takes days to extract a single vein of ore or something like that, I don't know if it'd take that long. But yes, the bigger orgs could get a platform of 40 of these automated miners or whatever and pull everything out, whereas the little guy can only get one going, and it basically does him no good to have it at that point. So yeah, it'll definitely put the bigger orgs ahead in mind.
Yeah. So, but if I'm playing devil's advocate, I do see some of the advantages to having automated mining, like you said. So the amount of time that we spend mining, especially you, is pretty high, right? For us to be able to craft the items, the parts, the stuff that we need. So because we're taking that time, basically if that time was removed, what would we be doing in the game? And I feel like for me, we would potentially be having more fun. When I say fun, let me elaborate, like building ships, getting involved in PvP, working on, a cooler base, like some kind of platform to land on. Like we would be more involved in some of the other mechanics or adventures or crafting and building of the game. So I do see some advantages of that time, but I'm still not sure. I'm not sold on automatic mining really being something that I think I want in the game right now. Maybe not at all. I just that's where I stand, and I don't know if that's going to change.
I think I could take it or leave it, but I need to see how it's going to exactly be implemented. I'd like to know before I really make a concrete decision.
That's fair. Yeah, that's a really intelligent way to put it. And I'd have to agree. I don't know if there's another form of it working other than kind of like those three options. I feel like the siphon method would probably be the most reasonable one, where it just sucks out whatever ore that you either select or that it does, and then it sends it straight to a container. But yeah, you're right. Like it kind of depends. And then once that's out, then we'll do another Trylon Chatter and we'll discuss it too. But yeah. Do you have any other thoughts or comments or anything you wanna say pertaining to automatic mining?
I don't.
Okay. Yeah, I think that pretty much covers it for us. Yeah, so if you guys want to hear a topic, then let us know in the comments section below. You can always join the Discord and let us know there. Ping me or RJ. And if you sub on our Twitch, you get involved in that too. So you can vote. When we put up topics, then you can vote on what you want to hear us talk about. And we're going to be talking about all kinds of stuff, guys. We're just getting started. So if you want to get involved, you can join the stream and then comment or add questions and get involved that way. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. So I appreciate everyone's time. RJ, go ahead and say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye. Good talking to you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, and y'all take care.